XYZ printing company. That's what it is, if you want to look it up. Okay, this happens to be what they call the junior and version 1.0. Okay, you can now get the junior in different types where it will take the code from your Wi-Fi. Let me think what else. Anyway, this one has an SD card. The reason I said last week, with an SD card, it doesn't tie up your computer. Okay? And printing is relatively slow. The pancake, she said it took 10 minutes to make one pancake. So that's a little slow. But anyway, some of these things you print might go all night long. Okay? So if you don't want to tie up your printer all night long, then you just put the code in here and it will print it right from an SD card. So I highly recommend most things you get, I always buy it with an SD card. That video he's got, my 2 cameras there, it's just a standard in the industry today. You just make sure everything works off of an SD card. And now, I thought I had one. The SD cards you get, where's the one that came with this? Let's see. Yeah, most of the SD cards that I've gotten lately, now this is a regular SD. Says adapter. Anyway, they look like an SD, but they're not. They're adapters. If I can figure out how to open it.
This card.
Yeah. That's the part that works in the computer. This is just a piece of blank. Okay. So most SD cards are going to look like this, but now the newer stuff we're getting, that's why I say you've got to, our old world was 10 to 6 power. Now we're really down to 10 to the minus power. So our kids today are having to learn a lot of new stuff that we didn't have to learn because it wasn't around before. Nanoseconds. So anyway, the bottom line, they're getting smaller. The robot that we put together yesterday at my house with some of the teams, this is what you get. Okay. So if you want to use it then somewhere else, you got to take it and put it in these. But anyway, when they say these are still called SD cards, but they'll have a, I can't remember, they put a special sign on here so you know it's a micro. So anyway, America. It doesn't really matter as long as you know that the stuff you buy has got an SD card in it. Okay, so if it comes with a micro, then you know you're going to have to go buy an adapter to use it somewhere else. Like what Roy's doing there, I can take that card and put it into my 2 cameras, PSL cameras. So whereas they would not take the little one, so you have to have the adapter. Now, in this one, I had 3 of these here last week to show you. This one, this is your filament, and it's plastic. Okay. It's a type of plastic, and there's 2 or 3 different kinds on the market. And they have different temperatures at which they work. Okay? So you kind of have to decide which one you want. This one doesn't take a heated element. The others, it's like the griddle for the pancake. This bed has to be heated, so or you won't get the thing off. It takes a little bit of effort to get it off. That's what the putty knife is for. To push it and get off, but they stick. And they're very, very fragile and stick, you're going to break it. So all that work went into breaking it. This particular company has done something some people don't like, and I guess some people do like it. I don't like it either, but anyway, they put a little chip in here, and that chip tells this computer what filament is there and how much filament's been used in various things, okay? Which, there's other ways to do it, but the bottom line, that means you cannot use other people's filament in this computer. So, proprietary or not, but the bottom line is, it's got a certain advantage, but to other people, may this be a disadvantage. If you want to buy, for example, a color they don't have, with this you can't do it. If you want to buy filament that is magnetic, you might not be able to use it in this printer. Whereas other printers that don't do that, theoretically, you can buy them from different companies. So this locks you into buying their filament for their printer. Say some people don't like that. You can take this out. When you take it apart or get a new one, you have to take this apart and put this in a new one because it needs that little chip that's there. One thing that's interested me in this whole bit is all this stuff is pretty high tech until you come to this. This filament goes through here and down into the nozzle. And then the nozzle heats it up to a certain temperature. It's got to be a very specific temperature. And then it gets melted. And then as it comes out, hits the air, it cools. And that's how you can print something with it. You're turning something from solid into liquid and then back into a solid. The other nice thing about this particular printer is these heads get jammed up. That's why I told people last time when we talked about this, make sure that you save all this stuff. It's there for a reason. Okay? The reason being for this is when that head gets plugged up, you got to go clean it out. Okay? They say about 25 pieces through. I can't remember the exact thing. You're going to have to clean it. So the nice thing about this one is that the head does come off and come out. Other ones you'd have to go there and try it all up inside. So, or if it's clogged up, like I have two of these, I can take it off of here and put it on the other printer. Sometimes you don't have time to start playing with it or unclog it, and that's a crucial part. So you can't print without that, because that's the thing that's going to heat the filament. So theoretically, if you've got the same machine, which I do with two, you take one out and you put it back in, and you don't have it. Then you can take it tomorrow, clean it, or tonight after your work or whatever. So and there is an advantage of having a head that's made like that. So, well, turn it on. Let's see if we can load something.
Dr. Tom, how much was that machine?
Pardon?
How much was the machine?
I can give you ranges, okay, but to give you exact prices is hard because I got this one on sale. My first one I didn't get on sale, so there's a big difference between the two. This was $100 cheaper than my other one. You know, so, but generally speaking, these type machines run up to maybe $400 or $500. Okay, you probably won't get one for less than $300 or $250. Okay? And then as you go up from there, you get the more complex ones. You get the ones with the heated bed and different things. Okay? And then you go up from there, you can get two nozzles. So most of the things that I buy, and Roy's done a lot of stuff with me, in telescopes, and we try to test the market, buy the cheapest you can get, and then push it as far as you can. Okay? Rather than buy the best when you never use half of the stuff. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I bought an organ years ago. It's a big organ, very big one, and I love it. You know, I've had it for years now. But I'd say even 25, 30 years later, half of that, I've never pushed that button, at least for real, maybe for testing it. So a lot of things, including cars, whatever, they're over the level that we were using. So I recommend buy one that's around $300 if you're getting into it new. So the little one I had here came out at Christmas time last year. It's only this big. So it's a nice little, if we're gonna print somewhere where we're really gonna print, I don't take this. This takes two people to put it in a box and take it out. The little one, I can have two of them, one in this hand and one in that hand. And they were around $350. So that's probably one I would recommend that people start with, unless you've got a lot of space and so on. So I think it's called Micro 3D. I can't remember. I had it here last week. And it'll print. The bed is what counts here. So it'll print about the same size as this. So this takes up a lot of space in an office or in an area. You know, that only takes up this much space. So the other thing we try to do, and society does too, is get it as small as possible and as lightweight as possible. One, to carry it. So you're gonna have to carry it around, so, okay.